I'm Premlal Sharma, lecturer in English, Diet Solon. In the follow-up topic, we'll discuss about constructive feedback, concept, significance, and sources. As a teacher, we must keep this thing in mind that constructive criticism is something that should always be shared in private. Begin by telling the student the good things you see about him or her. This will get you started off on the right track. Tell them what you think is holding them back and how they can make a positive change. It implies building up matter, not breaking down. Teachers' positive tapping makes students put in extra effort to improve their skills, while providing feedback one's supposed to be sensitive to the individual needs of the student. You can appreciate, coach, evaluate, and students respond well to praise, encouragement, and guidance because it helps to motivate them. Just focus on encouraging future positive behavior and don't dwell on the past. Hello, good morning students. Today we will discuss about constructive feedback, its concepts, significance, and sources of feedback. So, feedback is the information given to an individual or a group about its prior behavior to achieve the desired result. In education and training program, it maximizes their potential at different stages of training, raise their awareness of strength and areas for improvement, and identify actions to be taken to improve performance. So this is the feedback. Okay, that we used to do over there. Basically, this is just the general term. But when we talk about the constructive feedback, so constructive feedback is information specific, issue focused, and based on observation. That is, we observe the students what he or she is doing in the campus or in the school. It identifies the strengths and areas of improvement of the students. It should be part of the overall interaction between teacher and the student and should include student self-assessment. Just to elaborate this very constructive feedback, that it is an essential part of effective learning, and constructive feedback helps students understand the subject being studied and gives them clear guidance on how to improve their learning. And students learn faster and more deeply if they know what the strengths and weaknesses of their performances are, and most importantly, how to improve future performance. So, constructive feedback not only identify the learner's gap but also provide information needed to close that gap, and the feed forward effect is even greater. Then the focus of feedback quickly becomes learning rather than marks. So, what about the functions of feedback or that of the constructive feedback? As we know that it has two functions. Directive and facilitative. Directive function, feedback tells the learner what needs to be corrected. That is the direction. Okay, the teacher, he or she is supposed to direct the student that he should do like this and like that. It would simply point out the mistakes and then tell how to remedy the mistakes. So where the students used to commit the mistakes, he is just telling, okay, the teacher will have the command, okay, will write on his notebook, give the okay, notes or the suggestions or the comments, and then that is in the direct approach. We used to give the feedback to the student so that he can remedy the mistakes. Then the second one is facilitative, and facilitative teacher act as a guide or as a facilitators. So by facilitating the feedback, provides comments and suggestions to support students in self-corrections. That he just having certain comment, he will provide certain suggestions and then facilitate the students to support them nicely, and then this can make him more encouraging, so that he will apply the self-corrections and there is no reprimanding on the part of the teacher. Well, and then effective feedback to be done over there. They got the systems with how we provided the effective, which got to be effective, which proved certain results and then make certain amendments on the part of the student. So effective feedback initiated by a student himself or the peer. So he make out the self-assessment, or then this is class fellows or the other students make the assessment of the students, and the teacher can have the same command that how about because the other used to judge the things, as one cannot introspect himself, he's not knowing what is going to be wrong with him or her, and then it is the other or the peer who can assess the student nicely. Then to promote learning, gauge feedback is provided, and then just in order to provide the learning enhancement, we used to check out the things what is really wrong. We check out the pros and cons and provided the necessary feedback to the students. Then teachers use the kind of feedback prompt at the level of support they need. So then there got to be the things that the students they may be in the need of the feedback, and it is the sort of and they would like to have a bit of the support. If the teacher provide them the necessary support, or they say prompt them, then they are supposed to do over the things, then it will be become handy on the part of students, and his capacity will naturally enhance. Then provide strategies to help the students to improve, and here what is to be done, that the students teacher is supposed to provide the necessary strategies, okay, to help the students, that how nicely he can improve his or her studies. And then teachers allow time for students action. Then teachers supposed to give them ample of time so that the students can make actions or become active and act upon the advice of the teacher. And then takes place as a conversation. So then in this feedback he can nicely have a friendly talk with the students, so that the feedback will be really effective and it will have the impact on the part of the student. Well, teacher check the adequacy of the feedback, and then teacher is supposed to check out the time frame that when to provide the feedback, so that it will have a real impact or the constructive impact on the students, and he act upon on the advice of the teacher. Well, so let's check about the importance of feedback. So importance of feedback is that feedback is always there in our every walk of life. Okay, if you just want to improve, so there is someone who is always with us. If we got certain encouraging things, so nicely they got for the improving. Feedback is effective listening. Feedback can motivate and can improve performance and tool for continued learning. So these are the 5 important points that we use to take in the feedback into considerations. So the first point, that is feedback is always there. If you ask someone's in the schools, okay, then they will ask for that the feedback or the performance from the trainees. Then the evaluation would always be there in the form of the feedback. Sort of activity, we do any trainings in schools or somewhere else, so always we ask for what was good or bad, okay, and if there got to be any drawbacks, so that's got to be checked out. Well, and then the second is feedback is effective listening. So make sure that when the feedback is done verbally or via the feedback surveys, the person providing the feedback needs to know they have been understood. What sort of the things they would like to convey, that is the, if other is giving him the ear, so then they understand that there is something to say, and the sort of things that they convey got to be executed properly. Well, the next is feedback can motivate. So here's can be used to motivate, to build working relation, and to perform better in future. So the students, teacher can motivate the students and then just to work if he is lagging in a certain point, okay, to give him the nice, that is the with the fair attitude, okay, he will improve better. And if we just we will try to scold him, so it won't have that impact on the student. Well, feedback can improve performance. So feedback can help to formulate better decision, okay, and then make sure that if we just encourage the child, if we just motivate him, so naturally the performance of the child will greatly enhance, and this learning level will improve. Well, the next is a tool for continued learning. So here's making sure that continued feedback is important, so that if the students is getting how nicely he has improved, he just move on to the next step. The teacher always come to his rescue and go on boosting his morale, so naturally there would be a greater enhancement on the part of the students. So it acts as a tool for continued learning on the part of the students in case of the school. So nice, we check out means the types of feedbacks, how it works, and then how it's come to the SKU over there. So the first types, that's got to be there, the appreciation. Okay, so the appreciation is the key to opening the feedback door. So that is the key to success, what we say over there. So feedback door, and by feedback means that we are just getting something back, but then the feedback used to move the individual to the forward directions by checking out all those drawbacks. So receiving a positive appreciative comments are more likely to feel respected to students, because if you appreciate the students, they will feel it's better and do the thing nicely. But if we, on the other hand, we try to scold them, we demean them, become picky and something like that, so they want to respond nicely and will lower their morale. Well, then the second point is say back. Restarting what learners had, showing you read their posts and let them know they are on the right track. So this is okay, and on the right track means the students, if you just acknowledge the students what sort of things, whatever they say, if you just give them the nice response, so then they will feel and they will just remain on the right track and won't move here and there. Well, then links to resources. Well, links to resources in the sense that sharing a link to a resource introduces learner to new informations, ideas, perspectives, and digital tools. So it's the duty of the teachers that the best things from where to get the things or the resources. So just tell the students, not only part of the latest the gadgets and the likes over there, the digital tools and the other perspective, but more of the things, okay, that the students, he or she may not be knowing where to get certain things or the certain information or the certain source. So it is the teacher who become a link to the respective resource. Well, the next is the question. So questions. While answering questions, learners often reflect on the process of their work, which brings their comprehension into a deeper level. So questions make it sure that they reflect upon on the process of their work. So while answering that, they got the best idea to check about, that is how nicely they understand the things and getting the feedback for the same levels. The next is providing next steps. So providing next steps is a way to let learner know what else they can do to improve their work and develop their skills. So then this is the things to acquire more knowledge and then develop their skills in a nicer way. That is the duty of the teacher to lead the students on the right track. And then providing guidance. It is a way to scaffold student learning by offering a suggestion, sharing advice, or providing insights that encourage students to reach just beyond their capacity. So the proper guidance, and teacher is the best guide, is the best facilitator on the part of the child. So make it sure that it's the way to scaffold students' learning. Means if a teacher provide the proper guidance to the students, proper suggestions to the student, and sharing advice or providing insights, means he's getting the advice from elderly people, from the teacher, and then providing insights that encourage. So because the students, they can be easily led away if on the by the ST things, but then it is the teacher who put them on the right path and encourage students to reach just beyond their capacity. That what are their capacity, you can encourage that you can do better than this next time. If you put a bit of more effort, you can do much better, and that is the encouragement the child require from the teacher. Facilitates connecting learners. So connecting learners encourage social learning, which enriches the course of community. So make it sure that the learners, when they got to be connected, means together and used to share their feeling. So what will happen, that the whole of the community that will get enriched with their thoughts and likewise. So there is a peer learning system, and then that will enhance their learning level and enriches so that the community might be enriched by this. The next is providing encouragement. It often rekindles learner enthusiasm for an assignment or project and motivated them to keep improving their work. So teachers' encouragement plays a very important role, a pivotal role, to rekindle learner enthusiasm. Make him work nicely, boldly and full of enthusiasm. So naturally, if just he get the right feedback from the teacher for an assignment or the project, so next times naturally he will do much better than the work that he or she present to the teacher. So the next one's informal feedback. So generally we used to provide in a commanding way, something like that, but then there was supposed to be the very informal talk with the students. We can talk to them nicely, like a friendly manners and something, and give them the suggestions in this way. So then it is entirely formatives. That is constructing out the things. Although information gain could be usefully incorporated into teaching portfolio for promotion probation purposes, as well as to promote active learning in the class. So sort of the information that the teacher get from the formal talk, it is really constructive, and then this sort of the talk, this can be checked out, or this can be added to the teaching portfolio for the promotion to the next class or the promotions that is in the services that he used to do, but in the classroom situation, this sort of idea, okay, or sort of the information that the teacher get can be added to the portfolio for the next class. Well, so next we come out to the advantages. Advantages of the constructive feedback or this effective feedback got to be this, that informal feedback is a quick method to obtain information from students to assist the process of teaching. That is the first advantage. Then the second one is information to be collected at any point during the course, and then opportunity to provide timely information that will assist learning. And the next is it will simply point out the mistakes and tell the students how to remedy the mistakes. So then these are the things that can be checked out, or that are the basic edge in case of the constructive feedback. The next is to support student comments and suggestions may be provided in self-corrections. So sort of support, okay, the students' comments and suggestions may be welcomed, that is to be provided by them in the self-corrections. And so all these aspects in case of the constructive feedback, that what we're supposed to do is that we're supposed to be at the end, we can say that positive feedback increases the gain of the amplifier and negative reduces it. And at the end, okay, while concluding this, I would like to say that in the constructive feedback, while providing feedback to the students, just be direct to express concern, express appreciations, and not to be get personal, hostile, okay, or demeaning with the students. Be caring and clear focused on their improvement, and show students understand what success looks like, and involve the students in self-assessment and reflection. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.